Roland.
Yes.
Your world, your universe, as you can perceive it, is a field of white.
Okay.
It has been a field of white for the past hour. Your world is seemingly void of anything and everything except for white and what you can see of your body. So if you can see your nose, you can see your nose. You can see your hands, you see your hands. You're standing on something solid, but you don't see it.
Can I feel it?
Mm-hmm.
What does it feel like?
It feels
Like white.
spongy. It feels spongy at times and firm at other times. It seems to have no rhyme or reason, but you are most certainly in a field of white. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm assuming since I'm in a field of white, it's probably rather bright, and since I can't really do much else, I'll close my eyes.
Okay.
In a field of black.
That's better than being blinded.
So just you are in like basically like your field of vision is white. You can't see a ceiling, but you do see white above you, like the sky is white.
Am I able to move around in the...
Oh yeah, you can walk.
Okay. Would a perception check help at all?
Try it.
19 plus 9. 28.
Okay, and what are you doing exactly? The more descriptive you are of your actions, the more information you're going to get back.
I want to see if I can feel or smell or see anything of use or that'll give me any information about what the heck's going on.
You're picking up a very astringent smell.
Okay.
It feels like your mouth is starting to dry up on you, as if you're in a very desiccant environment.
Okay.
Your touch sensation is mostly numb except for your feet, and not numb because of like pins and needles or that your limbs have fallen asleep. Numb in the sense of there's nothing to feel.
Okay. I'm an elf.
Mm-hmm.
There doesn't seem like much to do and much to figure out until the whiteness goes away.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sit down and meditate.
Awesome. Alberon,
Yes.
you have just stabbed this creature that was sinking, melting through the floorboards, that stole a piece of you that you have taken back by stabbing.
Okay. I reach down, I grab my dagger back away from it.
Okay. It completes its melting through the floorboards and is gone from your sight. There was no facial features that you could identify. It's not that I didn't have it, it's just they were so vague and obscured that it's impossible to describe. That man that was standing in the rain is still there.
Okay, I'm going to walk up to him and say, what was that?
He does not give you an audible response, but you see his lips moving, and he's looking you in the eyes as if he's talking.
Well, I can speak a number of languages. I am a linguist.
Mm-hmm.
What language is he speaking?
His mouth is moving as if he's talking. There are no sounds coming out.
No sounds at all.
And it's odd because he's talking to you and there's no words coming out, and he's like forming words with his lips and tongue and teeth and trying to communicate with you, and even gesticulating. Like he's trying to converse with you. He's trying to communicate, and nothing's coming out. And he's kind of like, you're kind of just like giving, like, are you giving him like a blank stare? Like, what is this?
I'm giving him the look like, what's going on? You know, hands out. Starting to get a little bit irritated.
Okay. So he like he stops after a couple seconds, and he kind of like tries saying like a single syllable. Like you can kind of tell it's a single syllable because you see his mouth open and close one time, and it's not like a fish gape like raw, and it's not like he's trying to like say a specific word. It sounds like he's trying to test his vocal cords, and he's saying these things, and it's just nothing is happening. And then he gets really, really frustrated and goes to the bar, slams a silver piece on the table, and like points at a cup of something that one of the regulars is drinking.
Well, I'm gonna go over to the bar with him.
Okay.
I'm going to spread some liquid down and start writing in common and see if he can understand.
What are you saying to him?
What is going on? What was that?
So he gets his drink, downs it, tries like forming words again with his mouth, fails, and then kind of like slumps over and shrugs and seems very despondent. Then like takes his finger and like draws out in the in the liquid what looks to be Draconic alphabet.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So what he's writing in the Draconic alphabet is it's not very eloquent because he's writing in spilt liquor, but you can kind of make out like trying to speak, can't, no voice, don't know how, don't know what that was. Touched me, felt no pain but felt loss. Suddenly threw him through door. Now this.
I'm going to touch him.
Okay.
Because when I took back what was mine, I think maybe I got some of what he had.
Okay.
Or some of him.
You're just laying hands on him?
I would just put my hand on him. See if anything happens.
And thus, the saddest words a DM ever has to say. Nothing happens.
Well, hey, it was a good try.
Yeah.
Let's see. I write back into it. I try to talk to him. Can he hear me?
Yes.
He can't. Okay, you can hear me. All right.
Can understand. He's writing in, like he says, writing in Draconic, easier to write with this, and then he gives the pictograph like name for like tablet, not paper.
So I go over to the innkeeper, grab his tablet.
He like tries to start yelling at you, like he's upset. Like, why are you taking my the thing that I use to keep my accounting?
Oh no, just what he uses for writing his orders. You know, the order book.
I don't think he's busy enough to need one, or has enough diversity of things to need one.
Fine, I'll steal his. I'll rip the pages out that has his accounting.
Okay.
And use a couple of the extra pages.
Okay. He gets mad at you and demands that you pay, but I'm sure you just throw a couple cold copper pieces in the
I throw him a copper piece because that's all it's worth to me.
Yeah.
So I go back over to the guy and we start talking and conversing.
He starts using Elvish so that it's easier to define things.
Yeah.
Magically speaking. And what are you asking specifically? He basically so far he said in Elvish, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, what were you doing before this creature attacked you? And where are you from? You know, I'm just trying to get, what's your name? Where are you from?
Mm-hmm.
What was this creature? What were you doing before this creature attacked? And just trying to get basic information to get an idea of what's going on.
Okay. he kind of like looks around the inn and tries to like determine whether or not people have taken notice of you, which they have. I mean, they just saw someone melt through the floor, and you stab the melting guy into the floor. So they're like, you're getting looks, and he scrawls out really quickly, "Not now," in the comic.
Okay, my man, let's go out, find a quiet place.
Where do you want to take him? You are at a somewhat of a crossroads town. It's built off of the trade from the intersecting of roads. There's some farmsteads and some homesteads, but there's this inn and a couple other places to stable your horses and whatnot, but not much else.
Yeah, I'm just going to take him out, just right outside of town where nobody can overhear.
It is evening, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to converse with him in the media that you've chosen. Just as a basic common sense, like, FYI.
Not a problem. Oh, maybe it is. Shoot, I wrote the wrong ones down.
You would have a torch at this point.
Yeah. So, we're conversing in the age-old dialects. So, my good man, what exactly was that? Or do you know what that was? What were you doing to attract it?
So he looks around. You brought a torch out, right?
Yeah.
He pulls out of a bag of holding.
Ooh.
He pulls out a staff, Mary Poppins style. It's an 8-foot staff.
Mm-hmm.
It is ornately carved out of dragon bones and inlaid with gold and rubies. It's 2 halves of the staff. There's the golden half and the ruby half. And the inset of the inset of the rubies and the inset of the gold inlay is pictographic of a gold dragon and a red dragon fighting, and that the flames from their breath weapons meeting in the center of the staff where a diamond is inset.
The staff of dragonkind. Haven't seen that in 1,000 years.
And then he takes the piece of paper that you guys had and he writes down, "Just found this in a temple in a different plane. Returned, dimension door malfunctioned, brought me here. Creature followed through." And he kind of like gestures with the staff like towards you, just like take a look at it.
Okay, so I'd take the staff in my hands and start
Your
observing.
world goes immediately white.
Okay.
The only thing that you can see in this field of white is a wood elf in homespun clothes sitting on the floor. Brick.
Yes. So I just left Stumpy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to the quarters in which all of the Warforged stay and see if I can find a sparring partner. Because I'm getting a little bored. Need to practice my fighting.
Well, you know Oog is always up for a sparring match.
Oh, yes, he is.
Oog brings out his cutlasses, his twin cutlasses, and meets you next to the mizzenmast on the top deck.
Okay.
And he says to you, "First blood, as it were."
Blood? What do you mean, blood?
As it were. Learn to use some figurative speech, Brick.
Eh.
Roll initiative.
Yeah. Going to be a 26.
26. My bad. I got an 18.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and punch him.
Okay.
Because punching.
Punching.
That is going to be a number to hit. It's going to be a 17 to hit.
That'll miss.
That'll miss. Okay, I'm going to...
He's got splint mail, the Warforged.
Yeah. So I'm going to use my bonus action to punch him in the face again, hopefully.
Okay.
That one is going to be a 18.
Okay. That'll hit.
For 7 damage.
7 damage?
Yes.
Okay, this is happening at the same second, so he's gonna attack you. He's got 2 attacks because
Dual
he's
wielding.
Dual wielding. That's gonna be a 18 and a 12.
The 18 will hit.
Okay, so with the 18, you're going to take cutlasses. So I'm gonna use D8s. You're going to take 10 points of damage.
Okay.
Are you still conscious?
I am not.
Okay. You bloodied him though.
Yay!
So you come to, and Oog is kind of like staring at you, just like, that was as entertaining as always, Rick. I appreciate the ability to. And he just kind of stops.
Wave my hand in front of his face.
There's no response.
Give him a couple slaps to the side of the face.
There's no response, but you move his head.
Well, I'm just gonna walk away.
Okay.
Let him there.
Give
Let him
me-
sit there. Assume he's malfunctioning.
Give me a perception check.
Failing. It's gonna be an 8.
What did you roll?
3.
3. Okay, so with an 8, you notice that you're still in the doldrum. Like the wind hasn't picked up the sails.
How long has it been? I mean, it's been the 10 days.
It
But
has
has it-
been 12 days.
12 days and no wind.
It's been 2 days since we first met you.
Well, why don't you sit there and work yourselves together and make yourselves into a fan?
I wish I could.
I will allow
Um,
shenanigans, but not that level of shenanigans.
Yeah, no. Insight check to see if. So I'm gonna do the I would like to lick the palm of my hand and see if there's any sort of mild breeze.
You want to use insight for that?
Insight, perception,
Survival?
survival,
Survival.
18.
18?
18.
That'll do it. There's no wind.
Okay. Huh.
Not even a breeze.
Have we ever been in a doldrum for this long before?
The longest period you've ever spent in a doldrum was 25 days.
25 days. So this isn't too out of the normal.
Well, it was 5 years ago.
And what occurred on that one? Or was it just a freak occurrence?
Captain Lashanra finally lost it and demanded that everybody get oars out of whatever they could find. So they disassembled the masts and rowed out of the doldrum.
I'm going to go grab oars and start handing them to Warforges.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
21.
21. You notice that, like, you grab an oar or something of that, like, take like a spar, like, you know, anything that'll reach the water from sea level. You notice that as you're handing them to the Warforges, they're not responding, and they're also not like you put one in the like they have a hand out like outstretched for something. You put your oar into it, and the oar just falls down. And it is with every Warforged on the ship, like, except for you.
Interesting.
Everybody's lost power.
Well, I'm going to go to the captain and let her know that all the rust buckets decided that they wanted to start malfunctioning?
She's currently standing at the helm, which is unusual because A, there's no movement, and B, she normally has the helmsman do it. Give me another perception check with advantage upon reaching the helm.
That's going to be a natural 20.
Natural 20?
Natural 20.
She's not moving her eyes, looking carefully at her body.
Mhm.
You can tell she's not even breathing.
I'm going to follow her eyes and look in the direction she's looking.
There is a singular bird stuck in the sky. It is a seagull.
Stuck.
Sorry, not a seagull, an albatross.
Stuck. Not moving at all.
Stuck in midair as if it's hovering.
Creepy.
You're caught between tick and tock.
So I'm going to tie a rope to myself
Okay.
and jump off of the boat into the water and just sit in the water.
Give me a perception check.
17.
Okay. What kind of rope are you using?
That's... what kind of rope is on the ship?
Well, you have...
I was thinking the rope that we normally use to anchor the ship down.
Okay, so
It'd be hemp.
yeah. No, I'm not asking like what the material is, like the thickness and length.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be like a 2-inch or a 4-inch rope.
Definitely 4-inch, definitely upwards of 200 to 300 yards of rope.
Fly.
So
with
you
mouse
start descending
mice in it.
underneath the waves, and what did you roll for your last perception check?
17.
17. You see a glimmering in the bottom, and it's moving. You notice that the ship isn't. The rope and you are still responding to gravity, but you can tell that there seems to be a little bit more friction than normal. I mean, you've done this maneuver many times with being an anchor, but you end up sinking closer and closer and closer. And give me another perception check, again with advantage.
Ooh, that one wasn't too hot. That one's even worse. That's going to be a 10.
10. You can tell it's glowing and it's moving.
How close am I to the bottom?
To the bottom?
The body of water.
Well, you were basically in the middle of a crossing from one continent to another. So you're in a very deep part of the ocean.
Yeah.
You normally have no reason to anchor this deep, and there's definitely not enough rope. You're definitely off the continental shelf.
About what level, is the moving, glowing thing on about my level? Is it low or is it higher?
So you're in the highest thermocline.
Mhm.
It's probably in the second thermocline of water. So it's the second layer of temperature.
6,000 foot.
Oh no. You can hit a thermocline at like 30, 40 feet. Small ones, but the major ones are like anywhere from 100 to 300 feet.
So I'm going to go back up to the top. I'm going to attempt to pull myself back up,
You manage it.
and I would like to tie multiple of these lengths of rope together.
Okay. you have enough rope to reach it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I would like to jump back in and go all the way down.
So you basically never climbed back up to get the rope. You just kept going down, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just write on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So you start sinking more. You start drifting towards a little bit. I'm assuming you're trying to propel yourself just a little bit. It's a little awkward.
I'd like to get to the glowing thing.
It's moving rather rapidly the closer you get. It's also larger than it appeared at first glance. If imagining that when you first saw it, maybe 10, 20 feet, it looked like a firefly. It's getting about as big, if not bigger than you.
I would still like to go towards it.
Okay.
Because something's going on with my ship.
Yeah. As you get closer, you start seeing a silhouette behind the light. And you know this because there's a second light that appears underneath this one. And whereas the first one would be like a firefly, the second one is more of a spotlight. It's directional and is carrying much greater light.
Okay, what does this silhouette look like?
It looks like a big-ass whale.
Looks like a big-ass whale?
Yeah.
Well, I think I should be pulling myself up as quickly as I possibly can so I don't get eaten by a whale.
Let's roll initiative.
Okay. That is going to be a 21.
21. You go first.
Okay. Pulling myself back up.
Okay.
Athletics. That is going to be a 21.
21 athletics?
Yep.
Okay. So the way that we're going to do it is we're going to do contested rolls.
Okay.
So you did 21 for your athletics check, and I'm going to give his athletics check to try to contest your roll. Right? It has a +7.
Oh, geez. It's much better than my +3.
21.
So we match.
So you guys remain at the same distance.
Okay.
So do you want to do it again?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Even though this is going to end very badly. Whew, that's a 6.
That's a 21.
Nope.
So it gets closer to you.
Okay.
Let's do this one more time.
Sounds good. 16.
16. 16.
Yeah.
So you guys tie. Do you look back?
Well, I'm watching the whale, seeing as it gets closer and closer as I'm climbing up.
Okay. So what you see is you see a gaping maw open up ahead of you. And that same spotlight is like appearing out of the throat or the belly of the beast, as it were in this case. The light is projecting towards you. It is treated as if it is bright light. It is colorless, purely white light, and it is getting closer and closer and closer. Let's roll one last time.
Yep. Running away from the white light. That is going to be a 15.
That's a 20.
Okay.
So it,
Nope.
yep, it comes up to you. It opens its mouth wider. 5 of you standing on each other could reach reaching as high as you possibly could, and supporting the next one, and him stretching as high as he could meet his jaws. And they are not the teeth of a normal giant whale. It's not baleen. These are jagged maws filled with razor-sharp looking teeth. But you don't have to worry about that, because it doesn't chop you. It just swallows you like an ice cube.
Okay.
And your existence turns white. And
Do I see anything in this white
the
void?
only thing that you can see is a wood elf in homespun robes meditating on the floor, and a very confused looking bard.
I'm gonna walk right in between them and sit down.
Kistara.
Yes.
You want to join me?
You have managed to finagle your way and reroute yourself towards a new path towards the house that you're trying to get to. Are you trying to reach the canal route, or do you just want to take another alleyway, or do you want to try another time to cross the roof with a grappling hook?
Yeah, I'm not gonna try the grappling hook again. I think that was a close call. I'm gonna try going the canal way.
Okay. So do you climb down then?
Yes.
Just give me a real quick acrobatics check. This one's easy.
7 and then +6.
Okay,
So
you're fine.
11.
You shimmy down the gutters, and you find yourself back on the alleyways, and you start crawling, or you're making your way towards the house. Eventually you come through the last alley to the street where the house is on. Now the way that these are designed, it's more estates, like townhouses, with like their own yards and lawns and gardens between each house. So it's really not separated on this side of the street. It is on the opposite side of the street, where it's more compact housing.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems that there's a great divide on this one street, that they have compact, almost like government subsidy housing, and then directly across the street is these mansion-like buildings.
Okay. All right. And I'm coming up to on the canal. Where is the canal again?
So the canal is on the opposite side of the houses.
Okay. So it's like behind them?
It's behind the houses, yeah. You're on the street. It's the street, then the houses, and then the canal. And you can kind of tell that, like, the reason why there's such disparity
Mm-hmm.
is that those townhouses have
waterfront access.
Okay.
And since this is more residential, because it's waterfront, it's more expensive, and because it's more expensive, the wealthier people want more space. But across the street, it's just as bad as the rest of that whole town. So it's kind of like, okay, they have a complete divide with a street.
Right. Okay. And is the way down to the canal clear? Can I tell?
There is a park that you can use to get to the canal, but there is 10, 15-foot walls surrounding the park just to make sure that miscreants like you don't get to do what you're about to do.
Oh, okay. So that's going to be a difficult route, I take it. Do I know of like any side entrances besides going the back way through the canal?
High or low?
Hi.
76. So yes, you managed to find or you remember, or you have a contact that informed you that there is an access way through one of the hedgerows, where the fence is. There's a giant hedge that's about 20 feet tall. There's 15-foot like iron fences all the way down the sides of this property.
Okay.
But there's several weak bars in the hedgerow because the hedges have kind of overgrown it, and it's made an access point for rogues and ne'er-do-wells such as yourself to enter and do whatever.
Okay. And I'm assuming that having known this beforehand, I would have the tools needed with me to make use of that.
Yes. Yeah, you have your thieves kit and the things necessary to do what you want to do.
Alright, then I am definitely going to make my way towards the hedges and the bars and prepare to make my way through there.
Okay. So you are going through these brushes and you hear a dog barking in the distance. It's not really the type of like barking of just like it doesn't sound like the dog is being aggressive and trying to like protect against trespassers. It seems more like the barking of a terrified animal.
And what direction is it? Is the dog barking the direction I'm facing
if
or
the
away?
house is to the north, the barking is coming from the west across the canal.
Okay. I don't see any. I'm gonna just keep trying what I'm doing so far.
Okay. Give me a real quick perception check as you're in the hedges. It's just before you're about to enter the hedges.
Okay. So 13.
13 plus anything?
What is perception?
Wisdom based.
Wisdom. Okay, so that's plus 2.
Okay, do you have perception trained?
That's a good question. Yes, I do.
So it's going to be plus 4.
Plus 4. Okay, so 13 plus 4.
17. So you take a quick glance up to the sky, and you see a rather strange sight. It looks like there's either some sort of dirigible or airship, and there are spotlights like looking up at it, and it's coming towards you. But you notice, almost as soon as you spot it, that there's this very cacophonous thumping sound from over where that airship or dirigible is.
So the airship is making a thumping sound, and there's spotlights on it, but it's headed towards me.
As if there's like it's heading east. It's to your west.
Okay.
It's moving, and you hear really loud cacophonous thumping sounds. And as soon as you start hearing those, more and more dogs start barking, and you see like the lights of the city like start to turn off street by street.
Okay. Do I see or hear? I mean, are there people about? I know that at this time there's not going to be a lot of people about, obviously, in the nicer part of town. But
Well, yeah, and in fact, the spoke, as it were, on the other side of the canal is one of the wealthier districts.
okay,
So whereas you have some wealthy waterfront
waterfront locales here. That's the majority of the prosperity in this spoke, as it were. The other spoke over is much wealthier and much more well-to-do.
Okay.
And make an insight check.
Ah, 5 plus.
Wisdom.
All right, so that would be the plus 2.
Okay. You get the feeling that there's some sort of attack happening to your city.
Great. What do I have on me?
You have all of the gear that a rogue would have. So you've got
So I've got
short
the
bow,
weapons and
daggers, rapiers.
Okay. Cool. In which case, I am going to try to get someplace where I can see better without being seen.
That would probably be the roof of the house you're about to infiltrate.
Okay. Then I will do that.
Okay. So you find your way through the hedge, line to where the weak bars are. You squirm your way past, put the bar back, and start crossing the grounds. And you notice that the airship seems to be getting closer. It's now halfway across the canal, whereas beforehand it was still definitely on the other side of the canal. Like it hadn't even started crossing yet.
Okay.
And the spotlights are kind of like the spotlights that are emanating from the airship are kind of doing this weird like cyclic searching pattern, as if there's different operators and they're all doing these distinct patterns.
Okay.
And then, what do you want to do?
How far away is it from me right now?
It's hard to judge an accurate distance, but it's a good ways off. You're not able to make out how large the ship is, but based off of the ruckus it's creating, it's rather large.
Okay. And what of the rest of the surrounding area, the street below? Has anybody noticed this thing?
Yes. Yeah, there's fires. It's hard to tell from your angle, but there's definitely fires on the other side of the canal. There's lots of chaos happening on the other side of the canal that you can hear. There's a roar of a crowd doing something, whether it's escaping, fleeing, whatever. It's definitely occurring. It seems like you have been watching it for a while, and you're kind of like standing like still when you hear a voice say, "Oi, what's that in?" And you see someone turning the corner looking at you.
Okay. I have no idea, and I'm just gonna say that. I have no idea. Where did it come from? Do you know anything about it?
What you mean, why did it come from? I'm talking to you. And then he kind of like stops and looks up and goes, "Right. What's that in?" And you kind of like you kind of have this surreal moment of like personal bodyguard / security agent like that's patrolling this area for the grounds, and a rogue standing next to each other, looking at the city being bombed by an airship. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna say, what are you doing up here? Shouldn't you be down there with them?
Oh, I quit the city watch long ago, lass. I'm working for Mr. Biggs now.
Right.
It's not my problem anyhow.
Well, the smart, sneaky rogue side of me that says I should know when I need to back off is tempting.
Mm-hmm.
However, my curiosity is much more tempting.
Curiosity towards what?
Towards what's going on with the crowds and everything. Mm-hmm. It seems like that's where the action is, other than this flying monstrosity in the sky.
Mhm.
And I don't want to be spotted by it either.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell him, well, I don't know about you, but I'm getting down there and I'm going to see what's going on.
Wait a second. Who exactly are you, anyways?
And does that matter right now?
Well, hold on a second. I don't recognize you as one of the serving lasses. Precisely what is it you're doing on Mr. Big's property?
You can come with me, or you can stay here.
Now, I've got a job to do and a family to feed by doing that job. And my job is to keep rascals and ne'er-do-wells off this Mr. Big's property. Now, if you're a rascal or ne'er-do-well, I'm going to have to escort you off the property and give you proper lumps.
Well, you can escort me off the property if you would like, but I'm not taking any lumps.
Right. This way then. And he kind of like, he goes to like grab you. So let's roll some initiative.
Tough.
So that's 15 and then the 4.
19?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He got a 7 plus 1. It's an 8. So we go.
So this is my go. Well, I don't want to hurt the guy. He
Okay.
doesn't seem the brightest. I feel kind of sorry for him.
He's no longer a cop and is working as a security guard.
So I want to kind of see if I can kind of trip him up while I give him the slip. Is that a possibility?
I don't know. How would you do that mechanically, though?
Literally trip
Grappling
him.
check?
To trip? It all depends on how you're looking to do it.
Yeah. Are you trying to just like stick your leg out and like wait for him to walk past?
No, it would definitely be a physical action.
So he's like grabbing for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to kind of like
Dodge and
use like
kind
your
of.
kung fu.
Yes.
Like, is it along the lines of, oh, hey, my foot's here and I'm pushing you forward? Or...
Or I'm moving out of the way and you're just gonna fall over.
That would be hilarious.
So you kind of like want to do more like a dodge reaction thing, right?
Yeah.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Okay, so 13 plus 6.
Okay, so you are agile enough to perform the maneuver. Let's see if you are accurate enough to hit him with it.
Okay.
So roll to hit plus your strength.
Ooh, so that's only 7, and my strength is -1.
So you were fast enough to do it, but you weren't strong enough. And so you like kind of like get tangled up with him, and give me a dexterity saving throw, and I'm going to give him one. He is bad at life.
And she's got a 9, and you said dexterity?
Mhm.
So plus 4.
It's dexterity saving throw, so it's plus 4 plus 2.
That's right. So plus 6.
It's a 9 plus 6.
Yes.
So you managed to not fall over,
Yay!
but because you guys got tangled up, he kind of like starts falling over and takes you with him, but you fall on top of him, not him falling on top of you. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
So like you were good enough to not trip on your own feet, but he was so bad he tripped you too. Exactly. So you're kind of laying in the grass
Okay.
with a random guard.
Are we injured?
Nope.
Oh, yay!
Is he injured?
But it's kind of his turn,
Mm.
and he's gonna try and grapple you.
Oh.
So he's gonna roll to attack your AC, which is plus your leather armor. So it's actually 15.
All right.
Okay. So he is once again really bad at life.
I feel like I'm not the most graceful rogue at the moment.
It's not that you're not graceful, it's just that he's really bad at life.
Yeah.
He completely flails about trying to grapple you. Doesn't even know where you are. Somehow he landed on his like face down, and you're kind of like sitting on his back, and so he's like flailing, trying to reach you, but like to no avail.
Okay.
And it's your turn. You're sitting on a guard.
This is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I just want to put him out of his misery. Can I like knock him on the back of the head? Just knock him out.
Why don't you roll your dexterity, like an attack with your dexterity modifier and your proficiency. So it's going to be 4 + 2. So roll d20, add 6.
All right. Well, it was only 3. Oh my goodness. And then 6, so 9.
That's not going to do it.
No. Darn. Can I do a sneak attack since he's face down and all?
No.
Okay.
She has
But
inspiration.
you can roll with advantage because he is on his back and prone.
Okay.
So roll that d20 again.
So 11 and
Plus 6.
+6. All right. So 17.
Now that you actually hit him, now your sneak attack triggers because you had advantage on the roll
Oh.
because he was prone.
Okay.
So now what you do is you roll 1d8. We're using your dagger or your rapier.
Does it matter since I'm using the back of it to knock him out?
It's going to do 1 damage die less.
Oh, okay. I'll use the rapier, I guess.
Okay, so roll 1d6 for the rapier. It's normally 1d8. And then roll another d6 because of sneak attack.
Okay. So the high one's a 6.
That one's a 6. Oh, no, you take both of those. You add them together.
Ah!
And then add your dexterity.
Yeah.
And my dexterity, the saving throw one, or
No, just the modifier.
Okay, so that's 4.
How much damage do you do altogether?
6 and 5, so 11, and then 4, so 15.
Okay, you knock him out.
Yay!
What would you like to do?
All right. This is crazy fun. I want to head towards the action, towards the people.
Towards the peeps.
Yeah.
So, give me a perception check.
11.
11.
And is that plus wisdom?
Plus wisdom plus perception because you have a train.
Oh, okay.
So it's plus whatever the number is next to the double.
So 4.
Okay, so 15?
Yep.
Okay. You look above in the sky, and you see that it is in fact a dirigible. And you see that there's a hatchway that is open on the bottom side of the dirigible.
Okay.
And you see an oval, oblong object falling out of the bottom of it.
Okay.
Right on top of you.
Lovely. Okay. I would prefer to run at this point.
Okay, so you begin running.
Yes.
There is a gigantic explosion behind you, and your world goes white.
Okay. And I'm guessing, I can guess, but I'll just say, do I see anything in
Yes.
this world of white?
The only thing that you can see in this world of white is a elf in homespun clothing, meditating on the floor. A very confused looking tiefling bard. And a very strange looking robot creature sitting on the floor next to the wood elf in homespun clothing.
I'm just going to put my hand on my hip and just kind of stand there with my mouth open for a moment.
Okay.